I come to you with an age-old question today, audience. Does a bear shit in the woods? Well, let's find out with the Druid subclass tier list. That's right, we're starting it up. Once again, we are Intoxicated Intellect with a full accompaniment for the first time in a little bit. My name is Ben. With me today, I have Jake, Brady, and Justin.
Hello.
Couple bits of business before we get rolling into everything. One, please like, comment, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. Tell your brother, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your uncles, tell your grandmas. Hit all the buttons. We're closing in on the 250 subscriber mark, and we're gonna do a little bit of a special for that. We are still planning it out, so we can't really give any of that information out so far. But we are gonna do something for the 250 subscriber mark, so keep an eye out for that, and we'll keep you guys updated as we get closer. But otherwise, why don't we go ahead and start today? And Brady, why don't you give us a quick rundown of what the base Druid gives? What are we building off of for the day?
Alright,
Druids.
so with the base Druid, hit dies D8. You get normal hit points as normal. Proficiencies, you get a decent bit of them. Just go look them up. Use those eyeballs and read. You know Druidic.
Good for you.
The secret language of the Druids. You can speak the language and use it to leave hidden messages. Anyone that reads it knows
Forget
the
about
message
the hidden messages part.
on the spot. Anyone else, it requires a DC 15 perception check to even spot it and can't decipher it without magic. You're a spellcaster.
Yep.
You know cantrips. If it's listed as a Druid spell and you have it prepared, you can also ritually cast it, so you're not spending a spell slot if you have the time to do so. Second level, you get access to something called Wild Shape. You can just change your shape into that of a beast. So at second level, it's a CR of 1/4 with no flying or swimming speeds. The fourth level, it becomes a CR 1/2, no flying speeds now. And eighth level, it finally becomes a CR 1 that you can transform into. You stay in this form of that beast a number of hours equal to your Druid level or until all HP of that creature goes bye-bye. Second level, you also gain your Druidic Circle. Those are the subclasses. We'll get into those in a second. Also at second level, optional feature is the Wild Companion. You gain the ability to summon a spirit that assumes an animal form.
Oh.
And it's very similar to the Find Familiar spell.
I was going to say, that's one of the additionals out of Tasha's, isn't it? Because
Yes.
I have never actually played a Druid with that.
I do
optional
believe that,
ability.
Yes.
yeah. I also want to say I love how everyone forgets that Druids have their own language, and everyone remembers Thieves can't, but forgets
Right,
Druidic.
but yeah, Druidic is a way more specific version of Thieves'
At least as far as our group goes.
Yeah, but you can talk
Yeah.
to the trees.
You get ASIs at 4th, 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th levels. You also gain cantrip versatility. It's an optional feature, once again, out of Tasha's. Whenever you reach a level in this class that grants an ASI, you can replace one cantrip you learned from the spell list feature and choose a different Druidic
I was gonna say, I
cantrip
think Tasha's
instead.
introduced something like that for every class with either
There's a
final
lot.
changes or
There's a
cantrip
lot of
changes.
stuff that has that. The bard can do that. There's skill versatility that you see in some
Mhm.
classes. It's very, very common. Yes.
At 18th level, you get Timeless Body, primal magic that would wield causes to you to age more slowly. For every 10 years that pass, your body only ages 1 year. Also at 18th level, you get Beast spells. You can cast as many of your Druid spells in any shape you assume while Wild Shape. You get to cast spells while transformed into a creature now.
That's
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then at 20th level, you get the ability Arch Druid. You can use your Wild Shape an unlimited number of times. Additionally, you ignore the verbal and semantic components of any of your Druidic spells, as well as any material components that lack a cost and are consumed by the spell. You gain this benefit in both your normal shape and your Beast shape from Wild Shape. Let's get into those subclasses.
Yeah,
That's really
before
huge.
We go to that, before we go to that, I need to point that out. That 18th and the 20th level are the most powerful 18th and 20th level fucking abilities that you get in the entirety of 5e.
Yep,
I
100%.
will
other
die
thing-
on that hill.
the
I
other
don't
thing
care
to
if you tell
note-
me I'm wrong. I will die on that hill.
I will not tell you you're wrong. The other thing I want to note along with that is that your subclass choice with the Druid is very important because you've
Yes.
got levels you've got an ability at 2 and you've got an ability at 18
Yeah, that's that.
for the
also
base
the
Druid
thing.
class.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got.
Decent.
Your choices here are going to be essential, and you need to know how
They
you're going to
determine
play
how
your
cast
Druid
classes, yeah.
before you can cap it off, especially if you're playing like in what we like to call the butter zone, that magic area between like 8th and
12th.
14th level.
14th, yeah.
somewhere around in there where, a couple more ASIs come online. You can maybe run the campaign a little longer, but then everyone gets bored and you want to do something else like a level 21 shot. I think that's important to note along with that. I don't disagree with you in any aspect, but those are those are
Also,
huge. Those are unlocking the potential of what the Druid
whatever you go with,
Yes.
Ben, let's go.
Yep. Let's hit up the Circle of the Dreams. One of my personal favorite Druid classes. I know they may not call it like the meta, the best, or anything like that, but I love this class.
I read this earlier. I really kind of like it too.
Yeah, it comes to us out of Xanathar's. At second level, you get access to something called Balm of the Summer Court. So essentially, you are a font of energy that offers respite from injuries. You have a pool of D6s that are equal to your Druid level, so anywhere between 1 to 20 D6s. And as a bonus action, you can choose an ally within 120 feet. That's a very significant healing range. And spend a number of those dice equal to half of your Druid level or less. Roll the spent dice, add them together, the target regains that number of hit points. Target also gains 1 temp HP per dice that is spent. You regain all expended dice on long rest.
Nice. That right there is beautiful. If you really need like a hardcore heal in the clutch of the moment, which is what healing in 5e is all about, you throw down like at top level, you throw down 10 d6.
Yeah. And you get an automatic you get an automatic 10 temporary hit points to whoever.
Yeah, and then you throw that 10
enough that they can depending on who you res, can potentially take another hit before going down again.
Exactly. That can save you from the next hit and get that player character.
So you're not just constantly like fucking shock paddling people like
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's next?
At 6th level, you get access to Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow. Basically, during a short or long rest, you can invoke the shadowy power of the Gloaming Court to help guard your respite. At the start of the rest, you touch a point in space and an invisible 30-foot radius sphere of magic appears centered on that point. What does that sound like?
Liam's tiny hut.
Tiny hut.
You can
gotta
guard the tiny hut.
Yep. While within the sphere, you and your allies have a +5 to dexterity stealth checks and wisdom perception checks.
Don't forget that total cover blocks the sphere.
Yes, it does. Total cover does block the sphere.
Fire from inside can't be seen outside. Looks really nice.
Bingo. And it vanishes at the end of the rest or when you, much like Liam's, leave the sphere. So as long as you're within that, it is total cover. You are able to hide. You have a better on.
The Druid can cast it, but the Druid has to stay in it.
Yep.
And it doesn't cost a spell slot to do so. This is a class feature to give you your infinite long rests in a lot safer of a manner than just camping in the fucking ground.
And it does not require concentration.
No, it does not. I can still fight from within the sphere. I just can't leave it.
It is the way this reads is so beneficial though. Like it's during the way it reads is first off is during a short or long rest, so it's like a renewable ability.
You can also do it when you need a short rest too, which is
what else do you get? You get bonuses to stealth and perception checks.
Yup.
You can dodge patrols, or you can use it as kind of a forward lookout base if you get it close enough, or just see what's coming. Hides you as long as the Druid can stay within it. This is better than Liamon's tiny hut.
Yeah.
As a common user of it, the phrasing of this is so specific that I like Liamon's as a spell. But
the only thing to note is total cover doesn't mean you still can't be attacked. It just means it's a lot harder to hit.
You absolutely can still be attacked, but it's a lot harder to find you and to hit you.
Right.
And that's what I'll say.
But if you pair this with Liamon's, then it's harder to find you and you can't get hit. Because this is also 10 feet wider in diameter than Liamon's,
which is awesome for spacing.
Well, no, it'd be 20 feet longer in diameter because it's a 30-foot radius, where Liamon's is a 20-foot radius.
Yeah.
Bro, like, this is that's exactly my thought. Like, you pair this with Liamon's, your sentries on guard at night have that bonus to perception. They can have a fire, which any decent or like a torch, which I mean, in my DM opinion, would give you a little bit better like perception anyway. And nobody's the fucking wiser.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could totally dodge out of the way of a patrol that's like walking by, and like they could walk within like an inch of the hut, like you always see in like, you know, TV shows when they're in an invisible little
Oh, it's my favorite
space.
thing to narrate. 100%. Always gonna happen.
Or Harry
whenever
Potter,
it's
you
like-
know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter scene. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's perfect.
We got 3
At
to hit.
level
in this
10,
one.
you get access to hidden paths. Hidden paths allows you to use hidden magical pathways that some Fae, because this is a Fae-based class, if you haven't guessed so far, use to traverse in the blink of an eye. As a bonus action, you can teleport up to 60 feet. 60 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. Alternatively, you can use your action to teleport one willing creature you touch up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. You don't go with them, you just send
That's
them.
huge.
This
You
is
just
an
send them.
this is an asymmetrical and more random, like Fey touched dimension door.
Yep.
Is the way that
and
I
you
see
have
it.
you can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom mod. So
So
at
you've got-
later levels it should be
Which
mostly
is
a plus
really
5.
good. Which is
You've
yeah.
got a level 20 wisdom, you've got 5 uses of this.
Yep.
This is
This
dumb.
is a
This
great
is
way
awesome.
to send someone out.
better
Like, if
than-
someone is getting fucked on, to send them out of a fight.
It's
Exactly.
It's a great way of sending like one willing creature you touch up to 30 feet. So what you do, you're in the front of battle. You've just lost your wild shape. Oh man,
Yep.
shit's getting really hard. Okay?
Please.
Like I'm out of bear form and I'm now in the druid form. Oh man, he's still up. You and me gotta get out of here. Touch. I'm out
Go.
further as
Go.
a support character anyway.
Yep.
As a flex support, really. The one that can flex into many different roles if they choose. But a
Druid
support
is
character
versatile as can
nonetheless.
be.
Yeah, a support character nonetheless. And that's why, because of that versatility. But then you get your like barbarian out of there so that they can take a little rest and get ready, get their rage back up, keep going.
Especially, yeah, if you just pick up a
Back them up to-
barbarian
back-
that went down, you can back them up so they can get their rage back.
Back
Yeah.
them up to your cleric or something like that. Get them some healing real quick. Send them right back in. And you
Also,
can
if
follow
your
them.
barbarian is hurt enough that you have to send them for healing, get the fuck out of it.
Yeah, no,
No,
that's
that's
a time.
it.
That's a run time. This is
Yeah,
bad news.
if your barb needs healing and you've just lost wild shape after bear form, odds are you got to get out of there. And I don't think I've seen a better ability for that than this one.
14th level, your capstone. The real capstone is your actual druid capstone. But at 14th level, the end of that butter zone, as we like to call it, you get access to something called Walker in Dreams. So what this allows you to do is travel mentally or physically through Dreamlands. Yes, you heard that right, mentally or physically. So when you finish a short rest, you can cast one of the following spells without expending a spell slot or requiring material components. Dream, with you as the messenger, Scrying, or Teleportation Circle. When you complete one, you can just any of those you want. So if you guys want to save a spell slot the next day and you need to teleport somewhere, bam, just rest up, let the druid do it. This use of Teleportation Circle is, however, special. Rather than opening a portal to a permanent Teleportation Circle, it opens a portal to the last location where you finished a long rest on the current plane of existence. If you haven't taken a long rest on your current plane, the spell fails. You can only use it once per long rest. But a free teleport back to the last place you long rested. If you long rested before going into the dungeon and you're like needing to get out of there at the end of it,
It's a revert. It's a revert.
It
last
does
save.
fail, but it
It's a
is
revert
not
last
wasted.
Save.
Let's not
Yeah.
forget that.
But
It
it
fails
is not
not
wasted,
wasted,
yeah.
so you could
Yeah,
it's
reattempt
just
it,
like
or like you
at
then
the
would
next
have.
long rest.
Well, I read that as it's not wasted, so then you could try Dream or Scrub.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
you try and make your way back to where you were, and then you reset before you ever found yourself on that next plane.
Yep. No, it gives you a little bit of a it literally, like you said, revert last save state.
Revert last
You know,
save. You
that
still
really
lose.
did so well. Let's go
You
back.
still lose your inventory, right? Which is
Yep.
unfortunate. You're gonna have
and
that.
your actions
and
still mattered because
you're
they did
still gonna be
happen,
just
but-
as hurt, or just as up on things, or just as inspired, or whatever buffs you've got. But it is still like a soft revert last save.
Yeah.
I have things to say about this class.
So save it.
Jake,
Okay. Yeah.
Jake, why don't
start
you
us
go
out,
first?
yeah.
I've been wanting to play a druid for quite a while. This
It
is
does.
fucking dope.
I love
Like
Circle of
you go
Dreams.
into
There's a
battle
reason I read it.
as a a bear, or a T-Rex. But when shit hits the fan, you're gonna be like, haha, nope, peace, fam. And
You can dip
get
out
you
and you got all the
everybody out of danger. It's a total support class where Druid, I feel, is a pretty much all-arounder. This is your support Druid, but you can still fuck shit up because animals.
Yeah, animals.
I just read Teleportation Circle. Teleportation Circle is a dumb spell. Like you can you can learn how to teleport to like already permanent circles. You can create your own circle, and you can piece out your entire party. I'm gonna put this at like, I don't know. In my brain, this is an S.
Fair.
You get the insanity of attacking as a bear or a T-Rex or whatever the hell.
Well, you gotta be aware of the CR limitations on your.
There is a CR limitation, and I don't know if without being a circle of the moon, I don't know if you can get to T-Rex.
I don't think so.
However,
I could still go into battle as a bear.
There's still some very big aminals. Yeah, there's still some very big aminals that you can use.
And like, if I can turn into a bear whenever I want, I'm totally gonna pull it like, Golden Compass and have armor.
Where at in S? Do you think it's low
Is it
S?
high S, low S, mid S?
It's a mid S.
Mid S, straight S. Okay. Brady?
I am.
No, Jake, go. Jake.
Oh,
no.
It's like I would consider the Hexadin that I've been playing lately in the high S. This is a mid S.
Brady, what do you got? What do you think?
I don't have a whole lot to say on this class. It's been discussed as we were going over it. Like, this class is fantastic for what it is. I think this is an amazing way to play a Druid. I don't know, when I think Druid, I've always thought support and heals. That's just what I think of when I think Druid for whatever reason. And I love the way this does it. I think it does it extremely well. I'm going low to mid S on it just because of how well it supports the Druid class and all the different healing spells you can get in the Druid class.
What about you, Justin? What do you got to say? What are your thoughts?
It's an easy agreement, guys. Low to mid S seems to be where this rests for me. As far as the Druid as a healer or a support class, I know we haven't seen many yet, but based on what the Druid can do and based on what's here, this just really enhances it. And the phrasing here is impeccable because it exempts you from so many difficulties in executing some class abilities. The bonuses are good. The double dice, like the Balm of the Summer Court, just throwing D6s.
One of my favorite abilities in the game.
You may as well be an overpowered bard in some ways, just throwing D6s out there at second level. It's a different way of throwing them that's really fun. And then just to top it off with what I said is a soft checkpoint reset.
Yeah.
It's gotta be an S. It has to be.
Okay.
But I've talked too long, and that's only to give Jake a little break before he introduces our next subclass for the Druid. What do you got for us, Jake?
Yeah, let's go all the way back to the beginning, Jake.
I like the last one, but this one's me. So this is the Circle of the Land Druid. Basically, you're in touch with nature, and then you make people have much pain with nature.
Nature.
At second level,
that's pretty neat.
You gain a bonus cantrip, and you can learn one additional Druid cantrip of your choice. And this cantrip does not count against the number of Druid cantrips, so free extra cantrip.
True bonus.
Yep.
The best kind of bonus.
Exactly.
The best bonus.
Starting at also at second level, you get Natural Recovery, where you regain some of your magical energy just sitting in meditation and communing with nature. Which means during a short rest, you choose expended spell slots to recover. Spell slots can have a combined level that is equal or less than half of your Druid level, rounded up, and none of these slots can be 6th level or higher. You can't use this feature.
Great way to get utility
spells
back, though.
at level 20, you get 10 free spell slots at a short rest.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a great way to get back your low level utility spells.
That's a soft warlock boon.
That is better than Arcane Recovery.
Yeah.
If it's very well in with the if you have a short rest party of your warlock fire and all that, the Druid won't be able to get everything back, but they can get a good amount back.
Hey Brady.
What's up?
It's Sage mode.
Pretty much, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you
just gotta meditate
And then
with
boom, and now you're
nature.
more powerful again. It's
And
fantastic.
suddenly I've got more chakra somewhere else entirely.
But don't let it go out of
Alright, you
balance.
nerds.
Then you're gonna turn into a stone or a snake.
At also at 3rd level, and again at 5th and 7th and 9th, you get your circle spells, which
Hell yeah.
basically means you decide what kind of land druid you are. Are you a cold
What's your
boy? Are
background?
you a hot boy? Are you a sandy boy like Anakin?
What land?
Yeah, are you a sandy hot boy?
Bunch of different examples. I'm gonna give you 2 that I would pick from. First being the mountain druid, where at 3rd level you gain spider climb and spike growth. 5th level you get lightning bolt and meld into stone. 7th level you get stone shape and stone skin. 9th you get pass
Okay.
wall and wall of stone. Some serious armor buffs.
Those are some nice spells.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Y'all know I love
or-
lightning bolt.
Mhm.
You go with forest, which is a little similar. You get bar skin and spider climb at 3rd level. Call lightning and plant growth at 5th. Divination and freedom of movement at 7th. And at 9th, you get commune with nature and tree stride.
I don't know
There's
if this
tree
was
stride.
said about this ability yet or not, or if I was just too out of it and missed it. These are always prepared and do not count against the number of prepared spells you have.
Yep.
What he
You
said.
can
Beautiful.
always cast these.
They're
And there are
extra.
some awesome other groups like Arctic gets access to slow at 5th level.
I like that one.
which
Yeah, I
normally
was
they
just
wouldn't
looking
get
at
access
that.
to.
Grasslands
there-
gets
I think
haste
there's
at 5th
another-
level.
Yeah, some get haste, some get freedom of movement.
Some get passed
which are
without a
spells
trace.
Yup. Which a lot of these are spells that like a druid can get, but you'd have to they cost a lot for the druid to grab at these levels. So just to get them for free and to have this level of creative direction with where you want your spells to go.
Right, like Arctic
Man,
gets
I love
Ice
the
Storm
amulet.
and Cone of Cold.
At 6th level, you become one with nature. And you can like sprint through trees and difficult terrain and shit. No
like
extra
sprinting
movement to
through
you.
cheese.
Non-magical terrain, that is. But if you do happen to pass through some magically created terrain, you have advantage.
Yeah.
So like entangle and stuff like that, you have advantage against. Yeah.
Yes.
So like certain
Exactly.
life spells like that adjust the terrain, you just are better at.
Yeah, plants
Are
that
better
are
at saving
magically
stuff.
created is the way it's phrased.
Plants
Yeah.
like you.
Okay. Ooh.
At 10th level, you get Nature's Ward, which means elementals or fae cannot charm or frighten you, and you cannot be poisoned or diseased.
Wait a
The
minute.
fact that Fae
Yeah.
cannot
Wait a
charm
minute.
you. Fae cannot charm you.
They can't
The
anymore.
elementals thing like comes up with every now and again, but the Fae, that is like 100% what they
You
do.
can't be charmed by the Fae.
Nope, not at all. And that's right in the butter zone.
Yeah, that
That's
is
right
at the that is a higher end on the butter zone. That's where everyone's like, hey, it's Feywild time.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
That is
head into
literally
the new
Feywild
plane,
level.
just adjacent to the prime material. Let's head into someplace a little bit brighter and make some deals so we don't understand the ramifications.
14th being our ever favorite capstone level, you get Nature's Sanctuary, where like nature and stuff can sense your connection to them, man. And if they gotta
Whoa.
attack you, they gotta make a wisdom saving throw against you, man, against your druid spell save, man. And on a failed save, that creature must choose a different target or the attack automatically misses. But the bummer is on a successful save, the creature is immune to this effect for 24 hours.
That's like
It's
a
like a
dope ass
sanctuary
sanctuary.
spell.
Yeah. But better
Yeah.
because you can still attack.
Yeah, attacking doesn't drop it.
And
You
you're
just
gonna be
choose
fighting a lot of
this.
beasts. Like,
Indeed.
Yeah.
there's a lot
But
of beasts.
The caveat is that creature is aware of this ability.
This spell,
Before
so
it
they
attacks.
could potentially.
So-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if you become
So
a
that
big enough
kinda-
threat to it,
This is true, but you're not gonna get, you're not gonna get attacked first.
They just know that they're like attacking this person may not work.
yeah.
All right, since this is this class is basically a Naruto character.
Yeah,
Brady,
let's let
what do you
the
think?
leaves go.
I would love to give it S, but I know that Nature's Ward is very conditional. As nice it is, it's extremely conditional. And Nature's Sanctuary, as nice as it is, again, is conditional because you may not always be fighting beasts or plant creatures, and your spell save DC may not be that high. I would love to give this S. Instead, because of that stuff, I have to put it in a high B to a low A.
Okay, high B to low A. Justin,
All right.
our other Naruto bro.
I gotta say, I really, really like this one. I love subclasses, especially from the player's handbook that don't take away from the main
Fuck it up.
class. You know, that really adds something new, some new flavor that you can get. I think this adds it at the right point, at 3rd level, when a lot of the other players in your party will have their abilities and their choices
Yep.
come online. You know, you get Wild Shape at 2nd level, and some of the other subclasses we've seen have come online at 2nd level, but that may be a little bit ahead of your campaign. So I think there's a campaign condition to that, and I think this can help mitigate what the druid finds and where they find themselves. You know,
Okay.
in terms of the world and what forest they find themselves in, whether it's familiar or not, whether they can commune with nature, is so what. But the versatility of the spell lists and the phrasing that you just get it for free is amazing. It's amazing. You get free spells and they're all by 9th level. What's not to love
Yeah.
about that? You can't be charmed by Fae? I don't know anyone else that could do that. At least not yet. Not that we've examined yet. You get your own kind of sanctuary spell. I can see this going wrong if you choose the wrong path for your campaign, which is the caveat I have for it. I don't think a good player will do that. That's our basis for things. We have to consider a good player would do that. But I still think that there isn't much that could be done to improve it. And I'll put it in an S.
Okay.
I'll put it in a low S. Behind Dreams, because I do think it lacks a certain niche that needs to be filled in as much as support and healing. This is more of a it can be an offensive or crowd control class. The other thing I really want to ask about before we get into any more of these is does the druid really have any multi-class ability?
See, I said
how
that's
would
where I
you?
was gonna go with my intervention into it.
Then please take it away. I'll put it at a low S or a high A.
Okay. So like we've kind of already pointed out when we first started this video, was that the druid has the most consistently useful base class capstone. Your 18th and 20th level abilities are uber powerful. This is one of the few subclasses where I would suggest the multi-class. Primarily because of the natural recovery ability.
It specifically does state your druid level.
Your druid level. But you take this all the way to level, say, 10, right? So that way you also get access to your Nature's Ward, so you get that, because it is a very good ability to not be affected by Fae, especially in the right campaign. Because Justin, I agree with you. If you're in a campaign where you're not going to go up against Fae, I'm not even touching this subclass. And the reason I say level 10 is because then you can get back on that natural recovery. You can get a bunch of low-level spell slots back because you have access to 5 spell slot levels. So you can get a few one slots, a second and a third, what have you. But you can also get a 5th slot back. 5th slot spells are where you get access to, and especially in things like this, slow. And these are, I think, third spell slot levels, but I think 5th might be something like Conjure Elemental, I think is one of those. And I'm pulling back. I'm mostly a martial player, so it's kind of hard to say. I don't know exactly when typically 5th levels kick on for characters, but I know it's before level 10.
It's gonna be like 7th or 8th, probably.
I was gonna say, I think it's like 8th levels usually when you kick onto those.
You can get a couple.
So you can get one of those big slots back, which gives you a lot more Nova potential. You do something like that, and then you go along with because it's a Wisdom caster. There's not gonna be a lot of crossover outside of, say, Ranger. But multi-classing into Ranger, one, makes your Wisdom is always going to go up, but you get access to a specific cantrip called Shillelagh.
Yeah.
My Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
Look at the Irish.
My Shillelagh
is my most favorite cantrip for the Druid and Ranger, because Ranger can do it too. I mean, come on now. But you go into some kind of like melee style Ranger, where you have access to these spell slots, because a lot of these spells are really useful in a upfront and personal kind of way. Whether that be a cone or something like that, where you kind of want to be up front, and the ranger gives you access to a bigger hit die, so you can have a larger health pool.
Well, that's the aspect of your beast form, because of
Yep.
that reversion, they can allow you to be up front and then have a fallback position just based in who you are. Yeah, to have those hit points start.
Yeah.
It's
So
absolutely
I would link
catered
this
to
with
that.
some kind of ranger. I don't know what kind yet. I'd have to do a lot more thought about this to really kind of push this together. But I think that is probably the only real way to multi-class this. I mean, there's always the like dips to get like action surge and things like that. Don't get me wrong. There's the ever-present argument of raging in wild shape, which even amongst us here is a split debate.
So why not pair them up?
Well, because Wild Shape
go
does
off
not require concentration, thus you have nothing to concentrate on, and Rage doesn't let you concentrate, but you don't need it. And it's not
But
a
you're
spell.
also no longer in that kind of a form. You're now like focusing on maintaining being an animal. But once again, we're getting off track.
Where are you
putting it? Comments. What's your point on that argument? I'm very curious. Actually,
Tell us.
I would honestly, as a solo class, I would put this at B. As a multi-class, if done correctly, and there's, like I said, there's a lot more thought to it than I would have. This was just kind of my initial impressions on it. I could put it as a B+. I think this is just too situational. Like, you have access to a lot of situations, don't get me wrong, but I think it's too situational for the campaign to be anything other than B or B+.
I think overall, then, it lands at a B+.
That's fair
That sounds
to me.
about right.
And what is our final subclass of the night, Justin?
Well, folks, if you've stayed tuned this long, you've obviously seen that we've been doing it sort of alphabetically. So you know next.
Whoa, wild shit.
No.
Right?
Who would have guessed? Yeah.
Guess what? It's an easy way of doing things. So next, we have the legendary subclass of the Druids. It's the Circle of the Moon, guys.
The player's handbook class that does not suffer from power creep because it's been OP since the game was invented.
Day one, fierce guardians of the wilds. They gather under the full moon. If you're a lycanthrope, I mean, this is probably up your alley.
Yeah.
This would be a really good flavor for that. Like, why not?
Yeah, it would.
It's in the player's handbook. If you guys have started playing D&D, if you have any sort of interest, flip to the right page for the Circle of the Moon and follow along. You get combat wild shape at 2nd level, which is great. You get to use wild shape on your turn as a bonus action rather than an action. That's action economy, and that's always great. And while you're transformed by that wild shape, you can also use a bonus action to expend 1 spell slot to regain 1d8 hit points per level of the spell slot expended.
Yeah, you can.
Keep going. Keep going. Get the bear form. Get the bear form and never stop.
Keep on slashing.
Bear, mammoth, just all the HP.
Never stop, never stopping.
Because you're getting something so fucking good.
Very strong.
You're getting a lot
very
that's very
early.
good.
Very
Also,
strong, very
just preempting all of this with, this is the class that synergizes the best with those final abilities you get as a druid.
Yeah.
This is the one that leads into them.
You'll see why as we continue.
Well, let's see where it goes. Keep us posted, Ben. What you got,
Next
Jake?
one is nuts.
Yeah,
No,
let's take a
I'm
look.
just reading ahead.
Yeah,
This one's crazy.
That's
take a
what
look.
this. Yeah.
This is where it becomes a thing.
At level 2. Level 2. You can use your wild shape to transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as 1, augmenting the druid's main ability for
Like,
combat.
You gotta be what,
No
level
longer
10 to get this high,
Yes.
normally?
Yeah.
A CR1 monster would theoretically wipe out half of your party.
CR1 is, like Brady said earlier, you start out at a quarter, then a half, then a 1 as your levels increase.
Right. Yeah, but wait,
This
there's
gives
more.
you-
There's more. We are
Yeah,
full on
yeah.
oxy cleaning this shit. What else?
Yeah, Starting at 6th level, you can transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as your Druid level. Not just that CR.
Divided by
divided by
to
three.
be fair.
rounded down.
So at 6th
Rounded
level, you
down.
get access to CR2 beasts.
So
9 you
and
get
that's
3.
CR2,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
9 you'll get 3, and then 12 you get 4.
Yup. Guess who's the
15, you
biggest, the
get
baddest
5.
fucking tank in the entire game at level
Keep going.
6?
Keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
Keep learning new beasts and keep
Yeah.
changing into them
Keep
to
finding animals.
destroy.
Yeah. Piss
the
your
enemy.
DM off.
This is where you
Ask
tank.
your DM if their world has a zoo, and then try to go
Yeah.
there constantly.
Always. I want to see
Study.
what else they got. They said there's a new there's a new exhibit I gotta see.
Oh, great apes, giant apes.
What
I
else
got
do
it.
you get at 6th level? Because apparently
you
that
gotta-
wasn't.
No,
No, it's not enough.
because this subclass is stacked, folks. Starting at 6th level, your attacks in beast form count as magical. For the
Yup.
standard purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to that magical damage. Because why not imbue your giant?
You're gonna spend most of your
Pause,
time in
but-
beast form anyways.
Might as well make it
so
count.
you might as well, yeah.
Now you don't
Magical
need that
damage.
shillelagh thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
gotta overcome it. Continue on to 10th level, and you get the elemental wild shape. And when
Almost
you
forgot about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can expend 2 uses of wild shape at the same time to transform into an air elemental, earth, fire, or a water elemental. You can
Excuse the fuck out of me?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can now,
Yeah.
instead of wild shaping into another creature or beast or something like that, you get elemental.
Yeah, so at
Shaping
10th level,
now.
not only do you have access to CR3 creatures to wild shape into, you can just choose to be a fucking elemental.
And also that earth elemental has an obscene amount of health.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
you
We're
can
not
do
done yet, though.
anyone.
We're
You can
still
do
not
anyone for your condition at 10th level, right in the middle of a glorious time. What should be a glorious time in your
Yo.
campaign, but if you take the circle
All the way to the end of the
Druid
Thunder Zone. All the
to
way.
14, you can alter your physical form in more subtle ways, and you can cast Alter Self at will.
I'm
So
sorry,
you
what?
get even more wild shapes. Yeah.
So you've just gained a political intrigue tool.
Also
that
that,
no
but you
one
also
would
gain
expect.
way more wild shapes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it might cost an action now, but you can then, if somehow you've been kicked out of 2 wild shapes in a row, or you used your elemental, you can just cast this and become a bear. You can just cast this and become, like, I don't remember exactly what the wording says as far as like how
Aquatic.
you, can
You have
just-
an aquatic adaptation. You have change
Yeah.
appearance. You can do height, weight, facial features. You can grow claws, fangs, spines, horns.
Yup.
Just as a quick rundown of it, that it's usually only available to the artificer, sorcerer, and wizard. So it's a pretty limited spell.
Before I do that, I just want to remind the audience and everyone here that then the 18th and 20th levels give you unlimited wild shapes and the
Uh-huh.
ability to cast spells while wild shapes.
And you don't need verbal or semantic components or material components as long as they don't get used or have a cost.
Brady, you seem
Where you going?
fervent. You seem fiery. You seem really reared up about this. Let's go.
So the moment you guys started talking about a lycanthrope for this class, my DM brain went off. My multiverse monsters brain went off. And I immediately started pairing
Check our
this
videos.
class. Yeah, check out the videos on the multiverse of monsters.
Go check 'em.
Post them up there. But my mind immediately went to the shifter class,
Yeah.
where you are the descendant of a lycanthrope and it can have different abilities based on what you are. And those paired with this, holy hell. Because now, even if you're not, for whatever reason, or say you're out of wild shapes, now you can use your shifter abilities, bonus action, you gain temp HP and a natural weapon, you have like fangs or claws or whatever, so then you get all that as bonus actions plus the temp HP, which is fantastic. Some of them let you move away 10 feet without provoking attack of opportunity, some of them add AC, some of them add movement, some of them add even more temp HP than what's already given to you. This class paired with that would be fucking insane. But this class in itself, the amount you can wild shape as well as what it lets you do, the magical claws at 6th level, monks don't get enough credit for their unarmed strikes going magical that early. That cannot be understated. To be able to turn into a fucking elemental at 10th level, absolutely insane. And then, like you pointed out, oh, I'm out of wild shapes, or oh, now I'm also out of shifts in from my shifter race. I guess I'll just alter myself into whatever the hell I want, because why not? The only thing with that is, I don't believe your HP and AC would change. It would just be your physical
appearance. It doesn't change that, but it
could give you those natural weapons
again,
and other stuff like that. This class is known, or this subclass is known as well as it is because of how good it is. I'm not going to try to argue with anyone that it's not, because it is, and I'm giving it the highest of fucking S's I can.
Yeah.
Jake, go. On the spot. Let's have it. What do you think? As someone that...
So I think I'm giving up Paladin forever.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. Look, man, he has always belonged to the Druid class. He just hasn't accepted it yet.
That's fair.
Maybe a Druid Artificer?
He just needs a multi-class.
It really wouldn't work as a multi-class, but I love the idea.
He just needs to figure out the balance. I know he can.
Yeah.
So, like, we need to go to a zoo, because...
You're not wrong.
I want to be whatever.
Hey, we're supposed to go to Cholt soon, aren't we?
Because...
That is the second destination, yes.
Fun fact as well,
many,
dinosaurs got new stats in the multiverse.
So many adult sodas, I had to do some math. Okay. And 18 divided by 3 is 6.
Yeah.
Okay, which means at level 18, when you can wild shape as much as you fucking want, it can transform into CR6, which means dragons.
Yeah.
And I want to be a dragon. I'm also taking notes.
I'll wrap it up.
And I write in cursive, and elementals is in block letters in all caps.
Yep.
This class is dope. Period.
It's busted.
Top S. Period. Next.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. No. To flatten all this out, top S. You can't argue that. This is the tank. This is the tank for D&D. I don't give a shit what kind of barbarian you think you can build.
This doesn't matter.
What kind of homebrew barbarian you think you can build.
I feel called out now.
Broken.
Wins.
I was calling you out. You're correct. This is fucking broken as hell. You just get all of the health. You are essentially unkillable unless you are silenced, forced into like stun, and then relentlessly beaten the shit out of for your normal HP.
But even then, at 18th level, if you're silenced, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Usually
that's the thing. Yeah. So it's like this is the class where if you're like in a PvP scenario, this is who everyone has to kill first, because that's going to be the entire fight.
This is as dangerous as a death cleric.
Yeah. Let me just interject. I might buy the player's handbook on D&D Beyond for this subclass.
You don't have to buy the whole book. You can buy the individual subclass.
You can buy the individual subclass if you so chose. So yeah, this is top S tier. This is the tank. This is the D&D tank. This is the meta. If you're going against a DM, if you're playing a DM in the game that you're, because it's not DM versus players, but if you're playing that kind of a game, where
if you have an antagonistic DM,
and you go into this and that's the goal, this is what you bring.
And maybe it's a good idea to make a video of what classes you bring into an antagonistic DM. The thing is, and it's how your DM flavors it, wild shape is a beast form.
Yeah.
Beast. Not creature, not construct, not any of those kind of things. How does a dragon class? How do all the different beasts class? So it's a matter of finding the best beast.
They all class into beast. If I'm not, a dragon does class into beast.
Yeah,
it's not an aberration.
I'm checking
it's
that
not a
right
monster.
now.
It is a beast.
Is beast like quadrilateral? That's just overarching and incorporates rhombuses.
It might be like a beast monster or something, like monstrosity or something like that, because that fits a dragon. But
I want to be an
but that's an important distinction.
No, dragons are classified as dragons.
I know you can transform into a dragon because it's listed as a CR6 creature that you can transform.
Yeah,
it is listed as.
So as long as it's listed raw,
that is within the handbook. That is listed as one, and I can't argue with that. It is the book. Yeah.
I mean that's raw. That's raw.
Yeah.
That's rules as written, and you guys tell us what you thought of our tier listings, what you think of these subclasses of Druid. If you played any that would be really fun, what kind of synergies you found with your other players
Yeah.
that have been really, really effective. We would love to see stories like that. And once again, we have a special for everyone that follows us at 250 subscribers. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dog, tell your aunt, tell random people on the street that have their phone
Yell
out.
it
Just
at them.
tell them, tell them to go to
Force
Intoxicated
them to
Intellect.
subscribe. Make it happen.
You know, and if you guys have made it to this point in the video, thank you. Thank you for being such a loyal viewer. From all of us here at Intoxicated Intellect, we couldn't have made it to 200 without you guys. Thank you all. We'll catch you in the next tier list video. We're recording it in like 5 minutes.